Great. So hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. I am Ritika Kocher here, and it's great to be connected to all you beautiful people. I would like to thank Arpana Agarwal, President and founder of Wonder Women Connect, for this wonderful opportunity for me to connect with everyone. I also want to congratulate her on all the hard work that she's put in and the success that she's taken Wonder Women Connect to. This is a great platform for women from all spheres of life, from all over the world. Arpana, you're truly inspiring. Great going. To tell you a little about myself, thank you. Thank you, Arpana. To tell you a bit about myself, I started my journey in 2010 as a diamond grader. I was interested in learning more about diamonds. Who isn't? And I set up a small business of my own, and I was enjoying that until a feeling of emptiness crept in. So I thought I should upgrade my skill set. I should, you can't pour from an empty cup. So I wanted to be sure I'm so full of love and happiness that I can spread it around to everybody. I became an image consultant. A soft skills trainer. Then I became an angel card reader and also a happiness coach. I like to call myself a human connection enthusiast. So that's how one modality led to another. And since I've invested in myself, in learning, and I've chosen to be happy, I've been happiest ever since. So today's session is about how to increase your happiness quotient. In my journey as a happiness coach, I have realized that we are all looking for the same thing, the same feeling of happiness and joy, yet everyone's definition of happiness is truly, totally unique. Ever since the pandemic, we have all been subjected to a new way of life. We've been under lockdown for way too long. There has been a change in perspective, definitely. Also, a fear and a lot of anxiety has crept in because of fear of the unknown. The times are very uncertain. I'm not going to say things are going to get better. However, I can assure you, you will get better. The new normal has been challenging for everyone. You are not alone. Let's keep that in mind. Do you remember as a child if you ever came back from school and you were upset about being bullied by someone or picked up upon by a friend, or maybe scolded by a teacher, or generally just you've had a bad day? You've come back home and you've put your point across. Our caretakers, our elders, our parents, our siblings, they must have explained it to us, or at least tried, and when they couldn't, they would probably give us a chocolate or an ice cream so that we find some solace, we get some compensation. And that act of buying a chocolate or getting an ice cream has given us instant gratification at that point in time. And the problem was supposedly solved for the time being. So that I consider as shopping for happiness, for buying into things to give yourself instant gratification. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm not saying it's right, I'm not here to judge anyone. But this has been happening to most of us. As we grow older, because we are so used to shopping for happiness, our focus changes from ice creams to clubs to friends to shopping, the new handbag we want to buy, the new car we aspire to buy, the better house we want to be in. We want to look a certain way, we want to shop for a few things. So what we are doing is we are looking for happiness in every place except where it is actually available. We have it here within us, and we haven't been taught how to tap into ourselves. The workshops I conduct on happiness, they're interactive, they're a lot of fun, they're introspective, they're very extensive. However, for the purpose of this session, I'm going to cover as much as I can. I'm not going to get into the technicalities. We've all heard enough jargon. I just want to truly be able to give you a few tips that you can quickly use and start changing the way you think and ultimately the way you live. And that in itself will create happiness in and around you. So let's start with an activity. I want you to make this whenever you have the time. You understand it right now, and whenever you have the time after the session, please take a sheet, fold it from the top and the bottom and the sides, and make an eye. This is I. So my eye is mine and your eye is yours. On the top part, write 5 statements that you are packaged in. I am so and so. I am so many years old. I am working as so and so. I am so and so's wife. I am so and so's mother. I am so and so's daughter. Whatever the world knows you as, whatever the world perceives you as, whatever your packaging is, write that here. In this section, write top 5 statements that you feel you are proud of. You could say, I'm organized, I'm independent, I'm a keen learner, I'm a positive thinker, what else can we think of as positive? I'm non-judgmental, and so on and so forth. And in the bottom part, think of 5 things, 5 statements that you would think that you need to improve upon, things that you are not so proud of, your areas of improvement. For me, I could say I'm procrastinating a lot. I can't say no to people. Some people are straightforward. Some people don't take criticism too well. I was very controlling. I'm better now. My family would think otherwise. I used to think a lot about what people think of me. So if some of you do that, you could write that. Or whatever you resonate with, whatever you feel you need to improve upon. Please go ahead. My list is ready, and it's okay to have a list as long as we want it to be. So once you've done that, once you are ready with your list, look at it. In the top portion, we have written how the world perceives us and what we are showing to the world. It's fine. The middle part, I think, is overrated. The nature of life is so interdependent. If we think that we are courageous or we are independent, then there's a whole army of people behind us to make us the way we are. I can't cook breakfast for myself unless I have the supplies from the back end. And people who are too hardworking and they think it's a positive trait, ask their family. People who are too hardworking are working hard on holidays also. So it doesn't get easy for anyone. As far as the bottom part is concerned, where we feel that we need to improve upon, these are our areas of improvement. I would not worry a lot about that too, because everything that I have mentioned and everything that I have got from my clients till now, it has gone to show that you are not alone. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about being a certain way. It's not your personal struggle. Lots of us are sailing in the same boat. What we think is personal in everyone's journey. So I want you today, after you are done with the session, to make a list of your own, to make your own I, and then make a deal with yourself. Out of the list that you have, your packaging, your positive points, and your areas of improvement. Whatever list that you have, from that list, make a deal to yourself that there is one thing in this list, from this list I will stop doing. There is one thing I will start doing from today. There is one thing from this list I will continue to do from today. And then there is one thing in this list that I will improve upon today. The happiest people that I have known are evaluating and judging themselves, improving themselves, not judging. The happiest people are evaluating and improving themselves, and the unhappy ones are usually the ones who are evaluating and judging others. So let's decide where we want to be. The first step to growth is from acknowledgement and acceptance. Make your own I, connect with yourself, introspect, figure out what you want to continue, what you want to improve, what you want to change, so on and so forth. Like I said, for any growth to start, the first step is from acknowledgement and acceptance. There are many people who have adjusted to the lockdown and this pandemic much more easier than others. Why is that? Because everyone has their own journey. I'm not saying adjust quickly or slowly, to each their own. But the ones who have adjusted quickly are more connected to themselves. And they have realized that to progress in such a situation or any situation that you are stuck in, the first thing is to be kind and accepting of yourself, kind and accepting of the other people around you, kind and accepting of the situation or the imperfection you are dealing with. Be willing to ask for help. That's very important in today's day. And constantly be willing to try new methods, new techniques, new ways to succeed to where you would want to be. Make that choice. It's totally up to you. Having said that, it's also very important to remember that you are whole and complete. I am whole and complete. Everything that you need to be happy, all the tools, all the techniques, all the methods that I will be mentioning over here are already inside us. I haven't got some divine intervention and I haven't started doing these methods or using these methods suddenly. They are all inside each one of us. We just need to be reminded to tap into that. There was once a man who saw a sculptor carving a statue of Buddha from a rough piece of stone. And he asked the artist, so how do you make such a beautiful statue or such beautiful things from rough stone? The artist smiled and he replied, beauty is already hidden in here, in there. I just removed the extra stone. Just like that, your happiness is inside yourself. Just remove your worry, just remove your anxiety, and you will find it right within you. So start your journey not towards happiness. Instead, start your journey from happiness. Start telling yourself, I am happy. Once we have accepted the situation, once we have accepted ourselves and the people around us, let us see what the situation has taught us. Let us see what that experience was there to teach us. Use this time, like I said, to connect with yourself, to introspect, to figure out your likes and dislikes, your hobbies. Every human, what we see and what we show is not who we truly are. There are many more layers inside us. There are many more layers to us. We can go deep inside. Keep peeling each layer one by one. Keep plucking each petal of the flower. And you will see that there are endless petals. And the deeper we go, the more happier we get. The more we find ourselves. The more we know who we are. And then we finally figure out what we want. That would be a beautiful space to be, don't you think so? I know we are all facing uncertainty, fear, anxiety, and that's fine. It's okay to not be okay. It's absolutely fine. Just make sure that when your mind is giving you a negative thought or pulling your vibration down, or you feel like you are clutched in some thought process and you can't get out of it, think of switching on a button, like you would probably switch the light on and off. Quickly flip your thought from here to there. It's a choice. Like I was saying, we need to quickly switch back from negative to positive thoughts. We need to switch that button on. We need to switch it on and off and take the remote in our hands. Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if you remember to turn on the light. Always remember that. Such simple things can be followed and they can bring us happiness. I always feel and I strongly believe that our emotions are energy in motion. Whatever thought you are giving your maximum energy to, that emotion is set in motion, and that is exactly what you will manifest back into your life. So be very careful of what you are thinking, be very careful of what you are feeling, because that thought process is exactly what you are setting out in motion. Your emotion will set the path for your future. You will attract back whatever you have been feeling. So be mindful of that. So many of us have been operating from fear, from doubt, from limitations. And how has that worked out for us, might I ask? Wouldn't it be better to operate from possibilities instead? Whenever you are in a situation or you're feeling that emotions are bringing you down, just remember to breathe. Close your eyes, calm your mind, center yourself. Breathe in deep for the count of 4, hold it for the count of 7, and breathe out for the count of 8. It's important to close our eyes because our eyes are our window to the world, and if we want to shut them and have a sneak peek inside, we need to focus where everything is. Just remember to breathe. It's quite possible things will work out better than you could ever imagine. Happiness is a choice, it's a simple choice, and it does require a little work. It is your intention. If you want to be happy, you choose to be happy. It's up to you to intentionally choose it every single day of your life and every moment of your day. So I hope that will be another deal that we can make to ourselves. One tip that has helped me and I want to share with you is that when you get up in the morning, get up with a sense of wonder. You know, oh wow, it's a brand new day. Even though you're stuck at home, even though you're stuck in your 4 walls and you can't go out as much as you'd like to, doesn't matter. Bring it on. Oh, what a wonderful day. I've got a new chance. This is a new day that I've never seen before. Start thinking of what day you would like to have. Set your intention. Focus on that and attract a wonderful experience. Believe you me, it works. It will take a little bit of practice and it will work. Set an intention for your day. What kind of day you want to have. Focus your attention on that and attract that experience. You know, babies are so vulnerable, yet they're so strong in the sense that they're not fearful of so many things. They put their hands into sockets, electrical sockets for that matter, and they're at the edge of the bed and the edge of the balcony. Sometimes they're almost down a flight of steps. So they have no sense of fear. Now hold on, I'm not asking you to take any risks, not at all. I'm just asking you to explore new things, to take each day with a new sense of wonder, be ready to try, be ready, be open. And that's one way where we can grow ourselves. So let's also make another deal of trying something new. I know a lot of people in the lockdown have tried new recipes and they've been cooking and everything. So there's so much we can do. Just that little sense of wonder that we start our day with can set the intention for the whole day we have in front of us. I know it's not possible to always keep yourself motivated, but it's not that difficult to. I'd like to quote a very famous American author, Zig Ziglar. He's a motivational speaker too. And he said, motivation gets you going and habit gets you there. So even if you have set your intention and you are ready to be awake with a sense of wonder, it will take habit. You will have to work on it, and that's how you will get there. To give you a very small basic example, all of us take a bath every day. Within a few hours, because of the humidity, the heat and the sweat, sometimes we take it again. And even if it's a regular day, it doesn't last more than 24 hours. We have to bathe again the next day. To quote Zig Ziglar again, motivation doesn't last very long, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. So choose, set your intention, choose to be happy, and make a habit of working on it. There are many ways to make ourselves happy. I am just here to remind you of those tools that are already within you. First of all, it's very important to have a fitness routine. We all have to work out 3 to 4 times a week, 40 minutes at least. It not only keeps us fit, it keeps us motivated and healthy, and it also gives us an amazing sense of achievement. Also, let's sleep well so that we can function properly. That's very important. And pamper yourself. I will not forget that, because self-pampering and self-care and self-love is so important. It will strengthen your mind. It will make you stronger. It will make you love yourself. And in the process, the critical voice inside will get weaker. So that in itself is a win-win situation. So if you are happy, your happiness quotient works on all the other quotients. Emotional happiness, physical happiness, social, environmental, intellectual, occupational, spiritual happiness, all of it. Like I said, I will not get very technical. I just want to keep it simple. Your terrace or your balconies, whenever possible, give some time out to watch the sunset, to watch the sunrise. If you can't do that, okay, start loving an indoor plant. There is so much of positivity in nature. Also listen to music people. It empowers us with a kind of energy that is so healing. We don't even realize it. Next, we should all meditate. I know. It doesn't sound attractive to a lot. Start with a minute, slowly increase it. Meditation not only improves our functioning of the brain, it reduces stress, it increases our immunity, it increases our attention span, makes us happier, and ladies, it reduces aging. So we should do that, and like I said, we should try something new. Watch the sunrise, watch the sunset, get up with a sense of wonder. It's a new day, and please stop overthinking. It's not going to help you. Most of us have a problem that either we are living in the past and we are being a historian. You know, that one said this to me, this happened this way, my bank balance, I could not crack that deal, so and so did that to me, this friend said this family member said that, in-laws, outlaws, blah blah blah. Our list is never ending. So either we are living in the past and we are being historians, or we are worried about the future, and all of us seem to be great astrologers here. We don't know what's happening, so we are missing the now. In your pendulum of being back and forth, you are either being a historian or being an astrologer. What happened to now? We are supposed to live now. Happiness is here. We choose now. I'm talking to you, and that now is gone. And then again, this now is gone. So we are missing out. We are missing out so much. So let's start living in the now. Let's start being mindful. Be present in what you are doing. If you are eating, be mindful of eating. Enjoy that meal. Enjoy every bite. Be mindful of what you're doing. If you're checking your emails, wonderful. Just do that. Check your emails. Whatever you're doing, do it properly. There is no need to multitask. Multitasking normally leads to anxiety. If you can handle it, wonderful. Otherwise, being mindful, doing each task one by one, enjoying each task is also a way to be. Also, friends, we need to know the difference between hearing and listening. Most of us don't even wait for the other person to complete their sentence, and we are back with an answer. I don't know whether it's going to be a witty answer or a hurtful answer or a true answer. We need to listen so that we don't react and calculate and respond. Once you say something and once it's said, those words cannot be taken back. Most of our reactions are usually not what are required. If we think, listen carefully and think what our response should be, we will respond accordingly, according to what the situation demands. And a lot of unhappiness can be avoided that way. Happiness is an inside job. Another important step I would like to remind you of is to please stop judging. Stop judging others, stop judging yourself. Now let me take you through another quick activity. If I ask you to point to the east, close your eyes, center yourself and point to the east. So now, because I can't see any of you and only you can see me, for me east is this side. Where is your east? Your east is where you are. My east is where I am. So who's correct? Who's incorrect? Neither, right? We are both correct. The minute you understand that what the other person is saying, how they are behaving, what they are talking, how they are handling situations, what they are doing, how they are living is according to the circumstances and the situations that they are in. That is their reality. Be kind to yourself. Anytime, please. So, I was talking about we should stop judging. I'd like to use a quote here. It's easy to judge. It's more difficult to understand. Understanding requires compassion, patience, and a willingness to believe that good hearts sometimes choose poor methods. Through judging, we separate. Through understanding, we grow. Also, people, one important thing that we should remember if we want to be happy is that we need to stop complaining. Try and go 24 hours without complaining, not even once. Do not complain for the next 24 hours, and then watch how your world starts changing. A very important factor to increase your happiness quotient is forgiveness. Forgive yourself and others. We've always been taught to forgive the other person. I read somewhere that forgiveness is a strange medicine. You give it to others and it heals the wounds inside your heart. For your own peace of mind, please forgive. The weak can never forgive, remember that. Forgiveness is an attribute of the strong. So remember that and let go of grudges and please forgive. Forgive others not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. It takes a very strong person to say sorry and an even stronger person to forgive. Also, I'd like to add here that you need to forgive yourself for a few choices you had made, for a few tasks that probably are left incomplete. It's all right, we've all made few choices in life that we might not be proud of, and that's okay. It doesn't define who you are, it doesn't define who I am. You can simply choose again. If you feel that there's something that has been done that shouldn't have been done, that's all right. It's what you do to correct that. It's what you choose again after that supposed mistake has been made. It's what you do after that is what is most important, and it makes all the difference. Be kind to yourself and don't let the past choices hold you hostage. Like I said, we do not need to be an astrologer, and we definitely don't want to be a historian. We have to live in the now. Whatever experience you have had till now, learn from it, learn your lesson, and move forward. Show some compassion to yourself. You definitely deserve it. Consider those mistakes as experiences to learn from, and then put your back self together. I could use a quote from the seven laws of love. Holding a grudge doesn't make you strong, it makes you bitter. Forgiving doesn't make you weak, it sets you free. So every situation can either leave you bitter or better. Bitter or better, what do you decide? The choice is in your hands. Also friends, some of us need to work on self-esteem. If I can say, most of us need to work on self-esteem. And we are not alone, you are not alone. Self-esteem hits everyone, no matter where you are in life. These issues of self-esteem and happiness are totally interconnected because they both come from here. I was reading a WhatsApp message recently that made so much sense. A deer has a running speed of 90 kilometers an hour, and a tiger has a speed of 50 kilometers. Actually, my mom showed me this message. Thanks, Mom. And in spite of being faster, the deer always becomes the victim. Why? It's simple. The deer is in fear, is in doubt, and again will look back, will stop and look back. And it wants to know where he is and where the tiger is coming. So it loses speed. That uncertainty, that fear, that anxiety is always there. In spite of being faster than the tiger, the deer is always looking back, and not focusing on what he should be doing or where he should be going. The tiger, however, knows he is stronger and slower than the deer for sure. He locks his target, sets the focus, and attacks with confidence. Tiger doesn't worry that the deer is faster. He has only trained his mind to focus on what is serving his purpose. It's a mind game, guys. The deer doesn't focus on the fact that it's faster than the tiger. It's focusing on fear and anxiety. So it's operating from limitations. And the tiger is working from possibilities. That's where all the difference comes in from. It's very important to build up on our self-esteem. It's an inside job. because you don't want the tiger catching up to you. Ultimately, happiness is an inside job. Also, it's very important to stay away from people who lower our vibration. I'm not saying you need to cut or disconnect or clear or delete anyone from your life. No, that's not how it works. You just need to be away from the people that lower your vibration in a way that it doesn't affect you and it doesn't cut ties. I'm sure we are all mature enough to figure that out. And here there's another, I read a little story somewhere saying that the only bird that will peck at the eagle is the crow. The eagle does not respond or fight with the crow. It doesn't waste time on or any energy on fighting the crow. It simply opens its wings. It is simply opening its wings and soaring high. It becomes stronger and it starts soaring its wings and flying higher and higher and higher. And what happens? The eagle is rising in the sky. Ultimately, the crow and the eagle are so high that the crow cannot survive there because of lack of oxygen. And the crow simply falls. The higher the flight, the harder it is for the crow to breathe. And the crow falls, but the eagle manages. So stop wasting your time on the crows around you. Just take them with you on your heights and they'll fade away. Wouldn't you like that? It's not difficult. It's as easy as you make it and as difficult as you want it to be. Last but not the least, the most important way to increase your happiness is to always be in a place of love, of grace and gratitude. There is so much happening behind the scenes in your favor, whether you believe it or not. We've all heard the butterfly story. How when the butterfly suddenly thinks that its world is coming to an end, it's going through that metamorphosis, the shell breaks, it's out of its cocoon, it's thinking it's going to die. And the most beautiful change happens and the beautiful butterfly comes out of that. So be sure that there is something in the bigger picture that we are unaware of. Be grateful at all points in time. A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. And I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. Be grateful for all the highs, all the lows, all the blessings, all the lessons, all the setbacks, and all the comebacks. For everything. The minute we are grateful for everything, we have more to be grateful for. We are all used to writing our journals. We are all used to being thankful of what we are abundant in. Good, continue to do that. However, I would like to consider taking you to an option, to a place where you could probably be in grace and in gratitude without any reason and without any words. We do not need to anchor our happiness onto things or people or anyone or any given situation. Fine, we are grateful for a lot we have in life, but it's going to be beautiful to be grateful without any reason and without any words. That will be true bliss, true joy at all times. So remember to be grateful. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns problems into gifts and failures into success, the unexpected into the perfect, and the mistakes into important events. Gratitude will give you a sense of your past, bring peace today, and create a better vision for tomorrow. Instead of cribbing, okay, my socks are not matching. Someone who does not have enough would probably be complaining that my socks are not matching. Instead, they should be grateful that at least their feet are warm. It's not easy, it's not difficult, it's as easy as you want it to be and as difficult as you make it. Am I making sense to all of you? Are we ready to make the deal? Are we ready to take responsibility for our own happiness? Are we ready to stop playing the blame game? Are we ready to be grateful for what we have without any reason, without any words? Wouldn't that be amazing? Let's stop being a historian or an astrologer. Do not let the past hold you hostage. Do not worry about what the future has to unfold. Live in the now, live in the moment. It's a beautiful place to be. Enjoy what you have, be grateful, keep smiling. A smile is the best curve anyone can have on their face. In fact, you know what? Do me a favor, do yourself a favor. Today, after this session is over, your task for today is to count your smiles. Yeah, interesting, right? Count your smiles. See, every time you count your smile, you are very mindful of the fact that you are smiling. So many of my clients give me feedback that they have forgotten after probably 20 or 30 or 40 that I forgot to count my smile, but I was smiling anyway. That's exactly what we are looking for. I am not interested in how much you have smiled, how many number of times you have smiled. I am only interested in making you aware of the fact that smiling is simple, it's a beautiful way to be, it's a wonderful way to be happy, and also being mindful of the times that you are not smiling. So what are you going to do? Immediately when you are mindful of the fact that, oh, I'm not smiling, remember we have to flip, whether it's a negative or a positive. We have to flip our thoughts. We can immediately flip our thoughts again and look for something to be thankful for. We can look for something that we can smile about. Even if we don't have anything to smile about, let's have a smile on our face and let's make it possible for someone else around us to smile. Having said all of this, you know all of this, I have only reminded you of the tools and techniques and the methods that are inside you already. Are you guys with me? फिर कट गया था, I thought. Anyway, so we will be making those deals. And one thing I'd like you to keep in mind is true happiness comes when you are happy, truly happy, and you are making someone besides you also happy. You don't need to know that somebody. Start with making people around you happy, then go ahead and make someone unknown happy. I don't know where I read this. I think it was Tony Robbins. I don't know who it was, but this thought stayed with me. He had gone in for lunch to a place where they were offering a subsidized rate of some buffet. I think there was a tough phase in his time, in his life, that he was totally bankrupt and he had probably $20-25 in his pocket. So he went to this place where they were giving a buffet for $2 or $3. So he planned that he would eat everything he could and not eat for a week because he couldn't afford to do that. He was just wondering how he's going to survive the next week. He just had $20-25 in his pocket. So he walked to that restaurant or that cafeteria, wherever they were serving subsidized meals. And he went there and he ate to his heart extent. In the middle, he saw this young boy, 10-12-year-old, come in with his mother. She was obviously quite young. You know, he opened the door like a gentleman. He pulled out her chair. He was being attentive to her. You could see the love on his face. Her napkin fell down and her son quickly got up and placed it back on the mother's lap. So this gentleman who was there watching him, he went up to him and he wished the lady a happy birthday. And he told that young boy that this is the money that I'm giving you for you to take care of your mother. And he says, no, why? Why would I take that money from you? That child was also obviously coming from a space of not being very abundant because he was eating a subsidized meal. But still he had the integrity to say, no, why would I take money from a stranger? So I'm thinking it's Tony Robbins. He said, listen, I'm older to you and I order you to take this money from me. And he smiled. He says, the reason I'm giving it to you is because you are a true gentleman and you have been taking care of your lady. So this lady needs to be bought a gift on her birthday. You go ahead and buy her whatever is possible in this money. So that child was very happy and ultimately he did take the money. Now, this guy who had given the money was operating initially from a place of limitation, from fear, from anxiety. However, in that moment of lack, in that moment of not being sufficient, in that moment of not having what he truly desired, he still gave so much to the other person who needed it. I'm not saying give your wealth away. No, don't get me wrong. I'm saying wherever we are, whatever we have to give a little back to who needs it a little more. It's always going to make a difference. The other person might need it a little more than we do. And if we give back in that moment of lack, in that moment, we get it so many times multiplied. Because when this guy went back home, after giving whatever $20 he had left, he went back home, he was operating from like, wow, he felt like the richest man on earth, that I have given so much, because for him those $20 were a lot of money and he gave so much to the other child who needed it. So he walked back those 3 blocks and he was full of abundance and gratitude to be able to do that. He felt happy, he was joyful, he was in bliss. And guess what happened? When he reached home, in his mailbox there was a check of $1,600 which someone had owed him. And there was a letter from that gentleman to Tony Robbins. He says, I'm so sorry I've been avoiding your calls. I myself was stuck in a very difficult situation, but now I am giving you the money that I owed you with interest. So that one action of being in abundance, in spite of being in lack, of that emotion of feeling abundance and gratitude for being able to help the other person, it set the motion, it set the motion so much in progress that by the time he reached home, he had $1,600 in his mailbox and the check was ready to encash. So there is so much of happening in the world around us. If we are grateful for what we have, it's enough. We can also take out something for someone who needs it more. And that act of giving, that act of grace, that act of love, that act of gratitude will manifest you much more of what you truly deserve. As your happiness coach, I'm wishing you happiness. I'm wishing you so much of joy that you welcome every morning, wishing you laughter, hoping that your heart is always singing, wishing you friendship, sharing and caring, and all of the joy that each new day will bring to you. Thank you, people. Thank you for giving me your time. In gratitude, thank you so much for receiving this session. Thank you, Arpana, for giving me this opportunity. And thank you to Wonder Woman Connect for this beautiful platform. If there's anything that you would like to ask me, please leave comments in the comment box. I'm open to feedback and I hope to see you soon again. Until then, signing off. Bye-bye.